She recently added Tesla shares to her benchmark fund for the first time in months. Talk to me about the timing of that, first of all, of getting back out there and buying Tesla shares.
Yeah, a couple of things have happened in the last month, really, that have increased our confidence in Tesla. It's already high. It's the number 2 position in the flagship fund. But when we saw GM and Ford really pulling away from EVs until they become profitable, that was telltale for us in terms of share gains available to Tesla. What's puzzling is that GM and Ford are not going to be profitable with electric unless they scale. And so it's a bit of a puzzling decision. And the other thing, of course, GM has basically shut down Cruise, partly for regulatory reasons, partly out of an abundance of caution on the autonomous side. And, they're losing a lot of talent because of it. And again, we do believe that Tesla is in the pole position to be the autonomous taxi platform in the United States. Cruise pulling out adds to our confidence there as well.
I would add one more important thing. With LiDAR, even if you can make the service work, the price is going to be quite a bit because LiDAR is just so expensive, whereas the pure camera approach with a few other tiny things, for example, maybe an HD radar would be added later on eventually. That approach is going to be so much cheaper. So for me, I did not need that extra confidence to see GM pulling out, because to me, in my mind, that was always inevitable, really. If not soon, then it would happen by the time Tesla scales and undercuts Cruise.
I'm curious how concerned you are that any further losses at X could force Musk to sell more Tesla shares and put pressure on that stock.
Well, we think that we know that X's traffic is going up. They've obviously had some trouble on the advertising front, but advertising will follow traffic, we believe, and users, number of users. And we do believe those will continue to increase. His reason for buying X, we believe, is sound and will be successful. He wanted to preserve free speech in the only really global public town square, so to speak. And it's working. If you look at our business, if you look at ARC, our business has been built by giving our research away on X. X is the most productive social network for us as we are attempting to engage with innovators, people who are out there heads down innovating. We're getting information we would never get from anyone else. It's not inside information. It's information about the technologies evolving out there. And I think you'll see anyone involved in technology or in digital assets, so crypto, finds X to be a very productive and necessary outlet and really source of information. So now that's only the first step for him. He really, and again, he emphasized it on our Spaces session with him, he is looking at the everything app, think WeChat Pay, where it'll be not just a social network, but a network for commerce and for financial services. Remember, that's how he started out in the entrepreneurial world. It was a financial services company, digital financial services company, which he sold to PayPal. And I think his vision encompasses all of that. And if he is right, given where that stock is valued right now, I think less than $20 billion in equity market cap, if he is right, then this is going to be the beginning of a very, very strong run for X. And one other thing.
Yes.
X.AI, which he wants to take public as well, about a quarter of that will go to existing X holders. That's a very nice call option out there.
Let's think really logically here for a moment. If Elon Musk sells more Tesla stock just because he needs to fund X further, does that impact Tesla's fundamentals? No. It only presents a buying opportunity just like it happened before. So if it does happen, I will actually only be happy because I will be buying more at cheaper prices. But I think the risk is real. Elon certainly could sell more Tesla stock to finance X further, especially if he keeps telling advertisers to grow food themselves, on which at this point we can count on, but I think every single controversy is now smaller and smaller and smaller around Elon Musk. Well, at least the negative effects of the controversy. Maybe the controversy itself is bigger, but the consequences of the controversy, I think, are now smaller.
Cathie, I'm curious what your current thinking is on the timeline of when Tesla is going to be able to get there. I mean, this is something that is difficult, we have seen, not just for Tesla, but other companies. Tesla tends to push timelines back. So when do you think that is going to arrive and therefore, I would assume, unlock value, more value for the shares as well?
Yes. We're seeing some data here that I think is compelling. If you look at a Tesla, and this is based on Tasha Keeney's work, one of our analysts on Tesla, if you look at the number of miles between accidents in a Tesla with full self-driving, it's roughly 3.2 million miles. If you look at a Tesla without full self-driving and do the same analysis, it's 1 every 600,000 miles. So a Tesla with FSD is 5 times safer than a Tesla without, and 6 times safer than the average car on the road, which I guess is in an accident. This is on surface streets. It's actually more than 6 times. Is the average car on surface streets is in an accident once every roughly 200,000 miles. So pretty astonishing safety metrics. And on Spaces, when we were speaking to Elon Musk, I was asking him about NHTSA. And NHTSA is the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, and just how he felt the NHTSA was going to use this data. Was it important to NHTSA? And he said, absolutely. It's a data-driven organization. So we think that the numbers are compelling. And you know that 80 to 90% of all accidents are caused by human error. So taking the human out actually does make a difference.
Everything that Cathie Wood just said is valid. However, I do need to add one important caveat, and that is when I drive through an area that suddenly appears to be challenging, even if FSD is engaged, I will often just turn it off because I know it's just going to disengage anyway. And when it does, it's going to be awkward, especially if I have passengers in the vehicle. Just a few days ago, I was driving and the car started slowing down quickly. Now, it wasn't really phantom braking, but it was sort of phantom braking. Almost there. It was almost as fast as you could slow down as quickly as you can without feeling too uncomfortable. And that happened when I was going through what could appear to a computer like an intersection, but I clearly had the right of the way and I certainly did not need to slow down. And that slowdown was extremely annoying. So for the rest of the maybe 30 minutes, I just turned off FSD and I just drove myself because I did not want to have another situation like this where I slowed down so quickly with a passenger in the vehicle. So you have to understand when you look at that data, it does include the easiest parts of the roads mostly, not the difficult parts of the roads. Everything that I just described applies to autopilot 100% as well. Maybe someone else's experience is different in California, but over here in Canada, Vancouver, that's what it is. But again, I really like using FSD when I go through areas where I already tried FSD and I know exactly where it's going to work and where it's not going to work. Then the whole experience is really smooth. A Tesla robot goes haywire on an engineer in Texas factory. Trail of blood, reports Fox News. When I first saw the story a little while ago, I thought there's no way any self-respecting media outlet will ever report this story and imply that it has something to do with the Tesla bot Optimus. The whole story seems so ridiculous to me that I didn't even actually look into it, because I saw it at first from some random website. I thought that this is maybe just complete clickbait. I did not even click on it. But now that everyone is reporting on it, including some big news outlets, I need to jump on the bandwagon and find out exactly what's going on here. Tesla factory worker attacked by a robot that dug its claws into back and arm. A Tesla software engineer suffered serious injuries when he was attacked by a malfunctioning robot on the floor of the electric car maker's factory in Austin. Witnesses told the information last month that the robot, which was designed to move aluminum car parts, pinned the engineer and sank its metal claws into his back and arm, leaving a trail of blood along the floor. The engineer was programming software that controls robots whose job it is to cut car parts from freshly cast pieces of aluminum, while two of the robots were disabled so that the engineer and his crew could work on the machines. A third was inadvertently left on, resulting in the attack 2 years ago. Witnesses told the information. I think it's important to point out that the word attack implies that someone intentionally attacked someone, or something attacked something intentionally. So here it should say a Tesla software engineer suffered serious injuries from an accident caused by a malfunctioning robot, which did not intentionally attack the person. It's an accident, yes. It's a malfunction, yes. An attack, no. Imagine you are driving on the highway and then suddenly a deer runs out on the road and you hit the deer, and then the media says, a deer attacked your vehicle. I need to work on my English, but New York Post needs to work on their English even more. The misreporting here is completely stunning. Oh, but it gets even worse. A simple industrial KUKA robot arm was the cause of the injury. This robot arm is found in all car factories. I'm sure these injuries happen in other factories too. Every single image in the article was of Tesla's Optimus robot, speaking of the Fox article. Even worse, Fox News hyperlinked the words pinned the engineer directly to another article showcasing the unveiling of Tesla's Generation 2 Optimus robot. Why? Elon Musk obviously is upset with this story. Gary Black recommends that Tesla invests in a PR team. On the flip side, James is actually feeling sort of bullish because the media is trying to make people afraid of Optimus this early in this development cycle. The craziest part is the injury was apparently not severe enough to require the employee to take time off from work. So where is the super big story of evil robots killing people, hurting them so much that they cannot work anymore? Supposedly the injuries were serious, but how serious can they be if you are coming back to work the next day?